The Sooners' chase for a quarterback took a nice little turn in the recruiting world as one big name came off the table, which means one school is out of the race for not one, but two quarterbacks that Oklahoma's after. Owed you guys this video last week. My apologies, but I had a conversation with some of the camp at Jaden O'Neal. And they've also made some appearances, so they've talked about a lot of the stuff in public, so I feel even more comfortable talking about it now. So let's dive into it. Before we do that, welcome to Unfair Sports. I'm your host, Jay. Thank you for pulling up to the channel. So as you all know, Jaden O'Neal is the committed quarterback at Oklahoma, but it appears that Oklahoma isn't as committed to him as Ben Arbuckle came in as the new offensive coordinator. John Kuzieski is the new quarterback coach. And with all of the changes as Jaden had committed underneath Seth Luttrell, it appears that the relationship is a little bit rockier than anticipated. And now, I'm not saying that as someone in speculation. I'm saying that because that's come out of the mouths of not only Jaden O'Neal, but also his QB coach slash manager, our guy, OJ, Mr. Jenkins, who also recently went on with Jason from Hall of Fame College Football here on YouTube, friend of the show. He went on with him and kind of laid things out. But let's talk about first the big domino that dropped and how this changes some things and what kind of went down last week with Jaden O'Neal. First and foremost, Jaden had hosted an event at Mustang, basically Mustang Showcase, and he had some visitors there. He had LSU in town. He had Mike Bobo from Georgia in town. Florida State pulled up. Oklahoma, of course, had some presence as well. So you saw, as well as I think Arizona also had their OC show up. So you saw some people that have interest in Jaden O'Neal pull up, watch him throw, watch him train. This was all on the 28th. And so for Oklahoma, it's something that some fans have been concerned about. They've been wondering, what's up with Jaden O'Neal? What's going down with that situation? Well, he's keeping all his options open because the teams that were in pursuit of him, Georgia, Florida State, Arizona, and honestly, Oklahoma's appear to be trying to rebuild that relationship. This is going to become a tight race because Oklahoma's also chasing after Bo Bentley. Well, the big domino dropped. Jarrett Curtis, one of the top quarterbacks in the class, committed to Georgia yesterday. So now Georgia has their quarterback, and I do not assume they're going to go for two because they technically do not need it. They've got a few quarterbacks on the roster that they don't expect to go anywhere. Since that's the case, Curtis is headed to UGA as probably their quarterback of the future. Well, with that being off the board, UGA was also after Bo Bentley. That takes them off. Now it looks like it's an Oklahoma LSU race for Bo Bentley, and it's an Oklahoma, Florida State, and Arizona race for Jaden O'Neal. Now, O'Neal has not decommitted, and it doesn't sound like he plans on it until Oklahoma makes a decision as to what they're going to do. And this is kind of where things get a little shaky in this because Jaden has mentioned it before. He's been on a few shows. I'm going to give him a shout out too. He's been doing a fantastic job with these interviews, very professional and well with and speaking very well as a young man. You can tell that he's starting to get some practice in his media training and conversation. And one thing that he made mention of to not only the national media but even in some interviews that the relationship with Brent Venables is strong. BV hits them up on a regular basis. The relationship with Ben Arbuckle could be better. The communication could be better. Having Jaden O'Neal on campus more could be better. Mainly because he's now in Mustang, Oklahoma. He moved to this area specifically to be around Oklahoma. So if the Sooners want this to work out in their favor, they're going to have to buckle down and have some good conversations with our guy Jaden O'Neal. There's really no excuse not to at this point because Jaden is right here, up the street, around the corner. He's at Mustang High School. So I guess now the question is, who does Oklahoma really want? Jaden O'Neal, to me, has always matched up close to a Cam Ward type player. Moves the pocket very well with moving. Can run if he wants, but prefers to throw. and get his receivers open, throws them open. And so if anything, Jaden just needs to strengthen his accuracy, and the kid's going to be elite. We've all seen he has a pro style arm. He's real good. We just got to continue to grow and work on things, that's what he's doing. Similar to Cam, like I said, with Cam Ward. Bo Bentley gives you more of a John Mateer type play. A scrambler, someone that's going to do a lot of running on top of throwing, kind of a one-man show at times when needed. So for Oklahoma in this, they're going to have to decide which type of quarterback they want. Now, granted, they're saying they want both. They want to have a stable of both. And I totally agree. You just lose Cole Gonzalez into the portal. That puts your quarterback room, once again, empty. And once this season is over, there's no guarantee that room is still going to maintain. You'll have Michael Hawkins, but there's no guarantee that Jet New will stay. Now, I expect Jet to potentially be around, while at the same time, we've seen other quarterbacks leave Oklahoma when they don't see a path to play. And I think Jaden O'Neal can lead to the intimidation that there's not much of a chance to play, just because of how talented he is. So you got to ask yourself, kind of what does that look like now? Oklahoma's going to have to take 2 quarterbacks in this class, unless they plan on doing a lot of shopping in the bin at the transfer portal. And the problem you run into that is it's hard to find quarterbacks that want to be backups, or find quarterbacks that want to compete and be okay with being a backup. You can do that with a young player, a freshman, because then they can redshirt and they can go into that, they can follow that track. But if you're not dealing with that, when you're dealing with, like I said, with transfer guys, that's why Cole Gonzalez left. He saw a path to play at Pitt in comparison to Oklahoma. That's not going to be easy for the Sooners to figure out. So we have to ask ourselves, what does this mean going forward? And to me, in the conversations I've had with the O'Neals and everything, they have very much interest. They're at Oklahoma, they're at Mustang to compete more, also be closer to the school they committed to. Now I just need Oklahoma to go ahead and provide the same, reciprocate that love and commitment as well. But they're going to have to show them that getting Bo Bentley doesn't mean they're going to push Jaden O'Neal out. That's why Jaden's making these visits. They get Bo, will Oklahoma push him out? Or is Oklahoma truly willing to take 2 quarterbacks? We'll see. Let me know what y'all think. Hop in the comments. I definitely want to hear your thoughts. We need to talk about Oklahoma in the next video. And did they fix the glaring holes they had going into next season? I believe they did. And I'm going to point out the most important ones next time. So make sure you hit the like, subscribe button, bell notification, so way you don't miss any of the future videos. And we'll chop it up with each and every single one of you in about a day.